Hello, dear brothers. Hello, dear sisters, and everyone who's listening. I want to welcome you with this new study. And let's continue in 2 John 1, verse 10 and 11. If anyone comes to you and does not bring this teaching, do not take him into your house or welcome him. Anyone who welcomes him will share in his wicked work. Okay, let's dive into some interesting points of these verses. First, with these verses, John builds on his teaching concerning false teachers, starting from verse 7 to conclude the main body of this letter. In verse 10, the teaching he refers to is the one that Jesus came in real, physical human form. In John's Gospel, he strongly emphasized that Jesus came from heaven to earth, saying, "He became flesh and dwelt among us." Believers must accept that Jesus walked the earth as both divine and fully human. To deny this truth is to deny a core aspect of the gospel. And second, according to John, those who reject this truth will not be given any support. If a traveling teacher who did not accept the humanity of Jesus came to a church, John commanded separation. They are not to be given any resources, hospitality, or any other help. Believers are not to associate themselves in any way with false teachers who deny the truth and who deny the true identity of Jesus Christ. And thirdly, verse 11 offers an additional reason for John's command, where he refers to the danger of sharing the evil of these false teachers. John's pointed comment leaves no doubt. A person who shows hospitality to false teachers takes part or shares in that sin. In the context of his culture, John has in mind a person who accepts a false teacher into his or her home. This does not mean that a believer cannot say hello or good morning to a false teacher. Rather, the idea is to avoid anything that even slightly support a false teacher's work. And the last interesting point for these verses. John desired for believers to walk in the truth, not to share a wicked or work of the evil. This means more than simply not doing evil ourselves. As believers, we are also called on to condemn those who teach some other false gospel, as we can read in Galatians 1:9. Being polite and loving does not necessarily mean defending or even giving equal speaking time to those false teachers. We are not to confuse civility with promoting those who preach a dangerous and false message. Brothers, besides several practical concerns, we ought to exercise discernment and wisdom in deciding who we receive into our homes. In Matthew 7, verse 6, Jesus tells us, "Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample them under their feet, and then turn and tear you to pieces." There is no good reason to facilitate a false teacher in his or her quest to lead God's people astray. Not only should we guard the resources God has given us to further His kingdom, we must avoid giving our brothers and sisters in the faith a false signal of accepting a false teacher into the fold by welcoming and housing them in our homes. We must not be complicit in advancing false teachings. This is not a reason to be rude or aggressive to such people. Treating them with respect and God's love is extremely important as we build relationships key to sharing the gospel with them and combating ills. There will be times when cooperation is necessary with false teachers and those that espouse other religions, with food relief or fighting poverty, ending violence, etc. But we must be aware, very aware, that there is a spiritual battle ongoing in the heavenly realms. As with life, we must remain on our guard against undue spiritual influence. May God bless you with this. And thank you for listening. Hope to see you the next time.